Hey, this is Mike. I'm actually in the middle of repairing a Spirit. It's called the Demonica prop. Actually, I bought this thing at a garage sale yesterday for like 40 bucks, and I thought, wow, that's a good price. But sure enough, it had an issue. The whole thing worked except for, I plugged it in, turned it on, ran it through one cycle of the animation, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but nothing amazing. But what happened was, it's supposed to, oh gosh, I could probably link to another video, but it rises up, and then its head tilted back, and the eyes lit up, and then it tilted back that way, and then the thing went back down. But actually, what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to rise up, and then the head is supposed to go, it's supposed to rotate back and forth like that, and it's supposed to go back. So it didn't take long for me to figure out that one of my motors and one of my axes of movement was not working correctly. So I ended up, I didn't have much to lose, so what I ended up doing was I took a screwdriver and between here and here, I ended up prying this this base part out of the head, and it's got little staples actually that were holding it in. So I thought it might have been glued or something, but once I pried it back far enough, I could see the staples there. But what I ended up having to do was I disconnected two of the screws on the hinge that is used for the nod back motion, just to kind of give me some room to work. And then there were these three screws down here in the base plate, and then that ended up allowing me to pop this open, and then take the belt off the motor. Because what I did to actually, before I even got to that point to draw the conclusion that the motor was bad, here's the little electrical plug that runs the tilt motor, the rotate, or I guess it'd be the nod motor, and then the rotate motor, and then the lights in the eyes. And actually, if you look at this little umbilical here, it's got sort of a gray and an orange wire on the far left. Those run the motor that does the tilt back motion. And then the black and the red wire, or it goes red and then black here in the middle two wires. Those are the wires that go to the motor that rotate the head. And then the last ones, the blue and the green, those are the ones that run the LEDs in the eyes. And I was just testing that with a little battery pack that I have for testing things like this. This thing's just got two AA batteries in it, so it'll give you about 3 volts. But I was actually just, I was just going to the little metal contacts here and trying them 2 at a time. I do 2, I get the lights in the eyes to light up. Do another 2, I get the motion on the motor that would make the head go back and forth. And then I did the 2 in the middle, which were the remaining 2 that you could see running into here and to the motor, and it was just completely dead. So here's the culprit that was completely bad. And so even if I had absolutely nothing else connected, I could hook a wire here, and it was completely dead. So I knew this thing was the problem. And so next thing was, okay, where am I going to get a motor like this? Well, turns out I was at another thrift store, and I had bought a Billy Bass, and it turns out my Billy Bass, it had ground up gears in the insides and stuff. So I ended up ripping it apart and just throwing some of the parts into the parts bin. So luckily my Billy Bass was an organ donor. But as it would, luck would have it, the motors that were in the Billy Bass were absolutely identical to the Spirit motor. So you can see this is like the tail flopping mechanism from the Billy Bass. but like you can see, you know, that just fits down in there like a glove. So yeah, that's kind of the good news for the Spirit props, is if you wind up with a bad motor, you can find your part that you need out of an old $5 thrift store Billy Bass. So, and actually it's got 3 of them in there. So I had a few of these sitting in my parts box just waiting to go. So I've now soldered the replacement motor onto here. I had to pop off with, you know, I just used a pair of needle nose to pull it off, but this one, it's actually got a little V-groove in it for a belt, whereas the original in the Billy Bass had teeth on it to mesh with small plastic gears. And so I've got the new one soldered in, and I'm just going to put it all back together. I'm going to take some needle nose and I'm going to pop these old staples out, and you know, I'm just going to probably take the head and pry it on there. I might take a couple of small screws, drill them through from the side and into the plastic there, just maybe like 2 screws, just so the thing doesn't come flying off. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to put it back together, and we'll see how it works. All right, well, I got the head screwed in. I was going to show you guys down here. It looks like you can see the pen. There's a pen mark on the plastic there, and there was a corresponding pen mark on the head itself. So I don't know if they did that at the factory or what, but yeah, you can see my little countersunk screw that I put one right there in the middle, and then I did I can't really see them very well from this angle, but I did another one in the back here, and then another one kind of at an angle back right there. So I think between those 3 screws it'll hold very well, and it'll be easy to take apart if I need to put it back together again. But I found it handy. I didn't even think about having some kind of mark so I would know what, you know, it's kind of like the little notch that you put in the jack-o'-lantern top, so you know how to orient it right when you put it back. But yeah, so I got that thing back together, got the screws in my little nod hinge back in, so I'm ready to button it up and try it out. Okay, we got our Demonica all buttoned back up, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a tap to kick it off here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's a success. I'm going to say that the Billy Bass didn't die in vain. His little motor organ donorship worked out awesome. So I'm going to put this baby back in the box and bust it out on Halloween. Thank you.